Welcome back, scripting champions. Today's mission: deep dive into testing a Google Apps script which uses external API data to populate Google Sheets. Let's get started. We will use a trivial processing function which transforms the data we receive from the API. The point of this tutorial is to focus on writing automated testing of the solution and not on the processing of the data. Therefore, we keep the processing as simple as possible. Let's start by understanding the requirements. Our story. As an HR manager, I want to easily see all public holidays in the UK in my spreadsheet so that I use it for data analysis. Scenario: get data. Given I have access to the Public Holidays API. When I change the year and country in the dropdown, then I can see all related public holidays in the spreadsheet, and I will see the date, name, and counties for each. Scenario: data processing and cleansing. When the public holidays are loaded in the spreadsheet, then the dates which are malformed are not displayed. We will use this Public Holidays API endpoint. We have already created a spreadsheet with the two input fields, year and country. We will use the built-in lookup function to find the country code based on the list of countries in another sheet. We have also added a submit button and assigned a script to call our submit function. Finally, in order to make it easier to work with the input and output ranges, we have created 3 named ranges, 2 for the inputs called year and country code, and 1 for the output called holidays. You can see that the holidays range starts on the second row and does not include the heading. Now, let's have a look at the code. First, we need to get the input values from the sheets, the year, and the country code. Let's create a new function to do the processing in order to separate the concerns of getting inputs and creating the output. We will call it get and process data and pass the 2 input variables. Let's elaborate on the workflow. We need to call an external API to fetch the data. If we get the data successfully, then we also need to clear the range to ensure we don't keep any previous data in it. And finally, we need to process the data and populate the range. Getting the data is trivial, using the URL fetch app and fetch function. In order to process the data as a JSON object, we need to parse the text response. Handling issues with fetching and parsing the data is outside of the scope of this video, but feel free to comment and ask for another deep dive on how to handle and test that. Now we have the data as a JSON object. We are not strictly following the TDD, test-driven development, for this simple example. We are writing code first and test it next. But I am okay with that, in order to illustrate the thought process of potentially adding tests to an existing code. It's a good idea to explore the API and get some sample data for testing. Let's create our first test. It will be failing at this point, but that's okay, because we have not completed the implementation yet. Let's follow the AAA pattern for unit testing. Arrange, act, assert. This pattern is popular amongst .NET developers, and you can find links to it in the description. First, we arrange the test context. We need a test year, test country code, and a mocked sample data. We also need the target range, which we call holidays. That is a separate concern, so we create a separate function just to get that range. Let's call it getDataRange. Let's use the spreadsheet app and getActiveSpreadsheet function. Then we use getRange by name, and the name is holidays. The test function will test the get and process data function, so that goes under the act section. This is where the testing gets interesting. We don't want to be calling a real API in our unit tests. But if I would execute this test, it would call the real API. How to handle it? We're going to refactor the getData function, and instead of calling the URL fetch app and fetch function, we pass in a fetch function as a parameter into the getData function. During normal runs, this would be the URL fetch app.fetch, and during test runs, it would be our mocked fetch function. Let's go back to the test. Let's create a mocked fetch function, which returns a response object, which then has a getContentText function, which then returns JSON string, just like the URL fetch app.fetch. Let's change the call to pass this mocked fetch function as a parameter. Now we can assert the output to ensure that the actual behavior meets the expected behavior. To make the assertions easier, add variables for the 2 expected rows we should see in the target range. These match the mocked input JSON with its 2 objects. We get the actual values from the range and create the expected data range, which has the same size, and set its rows to the expected values. We have just the 2 rows. Creating a multidimensional array of a certain size is again a different concern, so let's create a new function for that. It will take just 1 parameter, since we only need to create some number of rows. But for this example, we will hardcode the number of columns to 3. Use the spread operator to generate an array of a desired size, and a map function to generate a new array where each item is another array with 3 empty strings. This isn't a trivial code, so let's add a simple test for that. Just a single test will do for now, let's say with 2 rows. Finally, we can compare the actual and expected values. Since these are multi-dimensional arrays, the easiest way to compare them is to convert them to strings and compare the strings. Comparing the values is a good candidate for another reusable function to keep clean separation of concerns. So let's go ahead and create a new function for that. It will log a passed message if the test fails and log an error if it fails. It's useful to also log the expected and actual values. We are not going to write a test for that, though. Run the test, and it's passing. Great. Now back to the main test. It should fail. That is expected. Let's move on. It should fail. That is expected. Let's move on. Let's go back to the top. We need a way to clear any existing data in the target range, which we named holidays. Get the active spreadsheet, get the range by name, and call the clear function. This is trivial. Should we test it too? Yes, it is a part of the overall solution, and there are already quite a few moving parts. Let's create a new test function. Under the Arrange section, get the range and set the value to something like a test. This is referencing the actual spreadsheet, so be aware that when this test is run, it will overwrite the data in the spreadsheet. But I am okay with that for now. Under the ACT section, call the clear range function. Finally, under the assert section, check that the range is empty again. The actual data is the range values, and the expected data is an empty array. We will reuse the functions created above to create the array and to compare the actual and expected. Does it work? Let's put a breakpoint to see it in action. Select this test function in the menu and click on the debug button. Wait for a while, and the debugger will pause on the breakpoint. Switch to the spreadsheet, and you will see that the target range is populated with the test text. Continue running the code. The test has passed. Switch back to the spreadsheet, and you will see that the target range is now empty. Great. The final step is processing of the data and populating the target range. Get the target range using the getDataRange function. In order to make it easier to populate the whole range at once, instead of row by row or cell by cell, create a multi-dimensional array that has the same size as the target range and populate it with the values we get from the API call. Reuse the function created earlier. Iterate over the data, and for each value and index pair, add the desired elements to the row on the relevant index. Here is where our data processing logic would be added. For simplicity, again, I have only a quick check that the date value is a valid date, and if not, it will be ignored. A production code would at least log a message as well for better observability, but I'm okay with keeping this simple for now. The last instruction is to set the values on the target range. Since we have a multi-dimensional array with a matching dimension as the target range, we can simply call a setValues function. If the dimensions didn't match, we would get an error. I can see potential issues here. For example, the target range could have less rows than the date we get from the API call. It would be good to write another test for that and refactor the code to make it more robust, but that is outside of the scope of this video. Feel free to comment and ask for a more detailed deep dive. Great, let's go back to the main test and run it. Is it going to pass now? Yes, well done. We can go back to the spreadsheet and try this again with different inputs. In this video, we covered how to test a Google Apps script which gets data from an external API and stores it into Google Sheets. We have quality, testable code, applied single responsibility principle, and written unit tests for some functions and integration tests for others, using mocks instead of real services. Don't forget to subscribe for more Google Apps script tutorials. Leave a comment below with any questions you have about testing your Google Apps script. Thanks for watching. In this video, we covered how to test a Google Apps script which gets data from an external API and stores it into Google Sheets. We have quality, testable code, applied single responsibility principle, and written unit tests for some functions and integration tests for others, using mocks instead of real services. Don't forget to subscribe for more Google Apps script tutorials. Leave a comment below with any questions you have about testing your Google Apps script. Thanks for watching.